Hello and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we're going to talk about one of the best art shows of the year. It is the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival right here in Hampton. My guests are Sandy Curran, a quilter, and Elizabeth Sievers from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for calling it an art show, because it really is. It really is, whether it's the traditional quilts that are raised to an art level of art, or things like what I do that looks more like a painting unless you get up close enough to find out that it's fabric. It's all art. It really is. Thank you for that. That was great.
It is beautiful. I will say, my family comes from actually a family who makes this distinction between art, which just hangs on the wall, and crafts, which are useful. And of course, quilts were useful and can still be useful because they keep you warm, and so they had a purpose, and so they would have been called crafts in the old days. But a lot of them now really are hangings. They're artwork.
I was at the Chrysler this week with friends of mine, and they have one of the G's Ben quilts hanging in the Modern Art Gallery where it belongs and where it is in no way out of place. And those were really crafts. They were made from people's discarded clothes and all by hand, and they're brilliant.
Well, and my family would say crafts are art that's useful.
Oh, lovely.
My sister's a potter. My dad was a woodworker. So this is
excellent.
Just right up my line.
Yeah.
But now, how many people? I'm going to turn to Elizabeth just for a second, then we'll come back to you. How many people come for this event each year, and how long has it been going on?
Around 10,000 attendees come. The quilt show's in its 30th year of operation, so over 20 of those have been in Hampton, so it's a really great opportunity for us to host it.
And this is a group that is easy easy on the city. This is you guys come, you stay for 3 or 4 days. There's a lot of networking going on. You have sales, vendors. I mean, my gosh.
There are usually around over 200 vendors. And that's something that the public in general could enjoy, because these people are selling to quilters. They've got every kind of fabric known to man, every kind of needle, every kind of scissors, but they also sell things that quilters like. Quilters are women, primarily. That's not fair.
Yeah, I know.
We're getting more men involved. But they sell anything that's going to appeal to those people. They sell jewelry, they sell, there's always a, what do they call it, one free trade thing where they're bringing artifacts and things made by people in small communities around the world.
Oh, right, right. Fair trade.
Fair trade, there's my word. And they have everything. They have collectibles, they have clothing. It has more general appeal than I think people think of when they think of quilt show. They think of their grandmother's bed quilt. No, it's not that.
Well, let's pause for a second and show people some of your artwork. I'm going to pass this over to Elizabeth because she's going to stand up and hold it. But when you look at this on camera, you're not even going to be able to tell it's a quilt, except that it flows. I mean, you can tell it's not on canvas.
It's not solid. It's not mounted. Although some quilt artists do now mount their work, but
tell us how you made this, because each of these has a little bit of a different technique.
Yeah. This is called fusible applique. A fusible glue-like substance is ironed onto the back of fabric, and then each little piece is cut out and fused to the piece next to it to make up the entire picture.
It's like an impressionist painting.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it has that sense of light, very, very much light, and then the way it all works together, the way if you're looking at it too closely, you almost don't see the man in the umbrella.
Yeah.
But once you back off, different things come into view.
And most of the work I do is meant to be seen from a distance. A lot of people do not. They work close up. So actually, as an example of work that is more towards the traditional, although I don't stick with anything that's particularly traditional.
It's a traditional
this one-
technique, but maybe not style or art.
This one is, I call it order and chaos. And this one is done with hand applique, which is very traditional, but obviously not a traditional subject or a traditional execution.
No. And if people, I don't know if people can see at home, but the quilting on the black background also mirrors the shapes that you have in color.
Yeah, and on the other one that's chaos, the quilting is deliberately very chaotic. So the quilting does amplify what you've done, but that's true on traditional and it's true on my more contemporary work.
So how long have you been doing this, Sandy?
Over 20 years.
Are you self-taught? Did you go to classes?
Well, yeah, no, I took quilting classes, but I'm both. I'm both self-taught and taught by others.
I'm
taking a class this time.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Classes
Yeah.
are part of what goes on at the festival. Since Elizabeth is standing, we're going to go ahead and pass her this one.
Now, this one I call I Hope You Dance, the idea, you know, that lovely song by, her name just went right out of my head. But
I love that song.
You know, if you have a chance to sit it out, I hope you dance.
Right.
So it's the joy of, but this one is actually painted.
I
This
did
one
not
is
see.
painted.
I did not see the dancing female figure in this at
okay.
first. I
Yeah.
was too close. I'm having to look at it on the monitor to be able to see it.
Yeah, that's the way I work.
It's
Yeah,
just
not everybody does that, but that's
amazing.
just my particular style.
And this one, I'm sorry, you were getting ready to tell me about it when I
This
started
one's
seeing things and I
hand
interrupted.
painted, but then machine quilted. So and so is the last one is also the hand painted.
So when you
machine.
say hand painted, is it one piece of canvas,
Yes,
one piece of
fabric. Yep.
And then the quilting is in the forms and helps to accentuate all the forms. It's just beautiful.
Quilting for me has to change with every quilt. The very, very different needs of each quilt gets a very different kind of quilting. A lot of
Does
people.
that just make it fun, or does that just keep it hard? Like a lot of artists
hard
get into
is
a
fun.
rhythm and
hard
and
is
follow.
fun. Challenge is fun. Without challenge, you get bored. So yeah, it is challenging, but it is. Without that, it would be boring. Yuck.
Okay, then I'm going to hold up this one, and you're going to tell us about it.
This one is called Polarization Pain, and it's an expression of my very deep sorrow that in our country today, good friends can't talk to each other because they have differing political views, and I believe it should not be that way. I think we should be able to come together and talk, but I'm afraid to talk to some of my friends for fear that I'll offend them or upset them.
Wow.
And this one is actually quilted with words. So the entire quilt is quilted with words talking about
Polarization reporting,
and facts and
apart,
not facts
opposed.
and
Wow. Conservative, liberal, moderate.
and then it says right, left, center. There is no center left. There is no center remaining. I don't know exactly what word.
Sandy, that's beautiful.
Yeah, well, it was. I think my best work usually comes out of something that I feel emotional about. So definitely felt emotional about that.
I guess so. And then I'm just going to show the back, because the back of these are always beautiful too. And you've got the sort of flag motif, the red and white, tying that all together. So if we come to the quilt show, because this is not just for quilters, as we said at the beginning, it is an art show.
It is an art show.
It is open to the public. There's a little admission fee.
It's $15 a day, except Sunday. If you come only Sunday, it's $13.
Okay.
For that day only. But if you pay $15 on Thursday, it's good for 4 days.
Oh,
wow. You get complete readmission. For 4 days, all day, 10 to 6, except Sunday, which is 10 to 4.
So we should go, right? I have to say, I've never been, and I love quilts. I don't know why I have never been.
It is.
I think I feel like I'm not, I'm an outsider.
No.
I want to do this. I
Yeah.
will never do this. It's
Well-
gorgeous.
But there are a lot of other things you can do. And
Well, I'll never paint either, and I go to,
You
the
go to art
exhibits at
shows,
Charles
sure.
Taylor, so sure.
there are beginning classes all over the place that you can take to learn the basics. And then you do with it whatever you want to do. But a class is fun. They have classes in everything. They have classes that are for rank beginners who've never touched a piece of thread and cloth before, to people who have been working on it like I have for 20 years but want to try something they haven't tried before. I used to teach there. I don't
okay.
anymore, but I used to teach there.
Awesome. Now, Elizabeth, what does it mean, and just, ballpark, we have a wonderful convention center here. It brings in people all the time. We're getting revenues toward our taxes, toward our police and fire and schools and everything else from having this here. Also benefits the local businesses. I assume you guys might eat some food while you're here.
Quilters do love to eat. Yes, they do.
Yeah, it's
And shop.
It's a great boon for the Coliseum area and the surrounding areas of town, not only for hotels, restaurants, the other attractions, because, sometimes, they've been doing quilting all day. They want to go see something else, like the Air and Space Center. So it's a really great opportunity to bring all these folks to Hampton and enjoy, not only what's inside the convention center at the Quilt Festival itself, but everything outside as well.
Yeah, and if you bring your family and you want to go to the quilt show, they're going to enjoy seeing the show. The show is entertaining to everyone. There are exhibits that are going to appeal to almost anybody. But your average husband gets a little over it when you start going through the booths shopping. And they would love the Air and Space Museum. They would like to go to the, Bass Pro.
Right.
I mean, they're just going to enjoy. Our area has a lot to offer everybody. And family's going to do that.
That's why the quilt show keeps coming back.
Yeah,
I mean, clearly,
exactly.
it's the whole region. It's the Mid-Atlantic region. There's lots of other convention centers in lots of other states, but you guys choose to keep coming back to Hampton.
Yes, because we have a great following on the peninsula, in this general southern Virginia area. It does bring people from all around. I mean, people come all the way down from New England, up from the south, in from the west. It isn't just a local show at all.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you guys want to add before we close? I know we're going to put the dates up on the screen, and I'm deliberately not saying them because this episode is going to re-air for a few years. Since you do come back every year, I want people to know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the 30th anniversary is amazing, but you guys come back every year, and we count on it.
And also, it's reliably the last weekend in February. So if you want to catch it, just kind of put a little mental note in there towards the end of February,
that's
start
good.
looking for it. It's always the last weekend in February. And actually this time it's actually bleeds over into March. It doesn't usually do that.
Yeah, because the way the weekends
Yeah,
fall.
yeah.
Well, that is so cool because then you can plan ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people who are making it their vacation, bringing their family, they want to be able to plan. Those of us who live here, we can just pick up and go. And it's usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a 4-day
always,
event.
Always.
Wow.
And I don't know that they change the hours that often, so it's usually 10 to 6. I can't remember them ever changing that. And then Sunday is 10 to 4. And that's the lower admission by only $2, so why not do all 4 days?
Right.
And they do have evening programs also, if you really want to get involved in that. There's usually a fashion show, there are lectures, there's I don't know, they do plan different things every year, so that's kind of up to the year that you're attending, what they have in the evening. But
And there's a different theme every year, but basically there's this commonality of art and color and beautiful work and people who enjoy doing it, communicating and sharing.
And very friendly people, you will find. Quilters are very inclusive and friendly.
Well, let's think about it. I mean, quilting used to not be a solitary exercise.
No.
It was something you did as a group.
Very
the
much
quilting
community.
bee, you did it to share. It's, helping each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's
very
a tradition,
definitely.
a very, very long tradition in this country.
Besides, when you're doing happy stuff with pretty colors, you're happy. You don't have too many depressed quilters.
That's a great idea. Okay, well, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I hope you will come and see the quilts as you saw today. It is not what is in your mind unless you've been to one of these shows. It's not quite the same as the old time quilts, although there will be some of those and they will be equally beautiful. But it is a modern creative medium as well. And so come, learn, enjoy, and appreciate the wonderful things that come to our community, tax benefits, economic benefits, and art benefits that we would not get without our wonderful convention center. Thanks for watching.